Okay, basically, this video is for a particular gentleman, but also, I guess I'm going to put this here on YouTube for the rest of you folks that have questions about how to wire up maybe DCC decoder to an Athearn Blue Box diesel, because there's a certain way you've got to wire it in correctly. Okay, so, of course, as many of you guys know, most newer DCC decoders, sorry, that's my back, nowadays come with a 21, well, the new, very newer models here in the late 2017, early 18, starting to come out with new 21-pin connectors. You still got your typical 8-pin plug harness decoders and the 9-pin JST plugs on a lot of decoders from all manufacturers. This happens to be the Digitrax 126D decoder, two-function decoder, two lighting function decoder, mobile, no sound. So this video is going to really is for again a gentleman I've been emailing back and forth, but it's also for the rest of you guys out there on YouTube that want to know how to wire a Blue Box. I know I did a video on how to wire Blue Box diesel, this Mopac Jeep 38-2 with a 9-pin harness. Okay, that's really the only way you could be able to wire up an engine, is use this 9-pin, these 9-pin decoders of the sort. But so let me just show you again some examples. So the first one here, okay, is how to wire up a 9-pin decoder. Alright, again, this video is going to go to that one gentleman I've been emailing back and forth. Okay, so typical Athearn Blue Box units, you squeeze the middle of that diesel and bam, the shell comes out. Alright, and inside you got the headlight, rear light, motor, and then the other components of the diesel. Okay, to wire in one of these harnesses, see if I can, sorry about that, let me just try to get the camera set. Okay, I'm gonna grab a pointer here. Alright, so again, typical Blue Box assembly, the motor's in the middle, then you got your two front and rear trucks, and then on one side here you'd have where that headlight used to be for the front, because the models, these Blue Box models, didn't come with a rear light. Move that back some. So again, this is basically how to do a 9-pin decoder install. Alright, NMRA standard wiring, there's many diagrams online, you can look that up. But the NMRA recommends for all DCC decoders for the orange and gray wire to be orange is positive for the positive side of the motor, gray for the negative side of the motor. Okay, gray is always wired in on bottom and orange is on top. Alright, now what it also says is for track pickups, you got left and right rail. Left, I believe, is the black wire, left side pickup. Right is the right rail for the right side pickup. But there's only one clip on both set of trucks, alright? So it's basically, we can run a red wire from the decoder, no problem, to one of these posts. I just cut mine off because the way they're designed, there's a single bar clip that goes all over if it was DC. But as you notice, red wire can only go to the one, and you're probably asking, why is there a purple wire jumping? Okay? That's what I'm not going to get into. The way that they're wired in, the red pickup basically wants to pick up all the positive current or on the right side rail, alright? So all you do with these bars, you don't have to cut them off, you just got to kind of clean them with a wire brush wheel with the Dremel or something to give the solder a nice clean area to stick to when you're wiring. So I just take a pigtail wire, run to both posts, alright? And then either post, doesn't matter, run that red wire from the decoder onto either the back or front truck post, okay? But you're probably asking, where does that black wire go? I don't know exactly, I'm not that electrical genius or what it does. Oh, because the frame is all metal, alright? It's basically, on the Blue Box engines, if you're wiring a decoder, it needs to be grounded, alright? Black is always a ground. You could pick any spot, like right here, take a wire brush wheel, you gotta clean off all the paint and whatnot, but here, I've got my black wire where this old light post used to be for that one bulb for the front. Okay, clean off, I snipped it all off, and then I put the black wire right there. Alright, so now with the orange, gray, red, and black pickups wired up, alright, you should now test your engine with your decoder. All you simply do, so let me put the shell back on. Sorry, this is going to be totally raw, unedited video. Just a quick overview, and then I'll have it actually running. Well, no, check out my, you look up my channel, subscribe to it, and go to a video to where I was wiring in this blue box diesel. Basically, how to wire in LED lights, but I probably go over just the whole decoder process as well. But this is, again, a video for a gentleman I've been emailing back and forth. It has two Athearn, I should have said this at the beginning, two Athearn blue box FA Southern Pacific units, yeah, 6-axle Alcos, that he first wanted sound, and I kind of told him to look on soundtracks because he just wanted basic sounds, and he looked at the MSRP and said, okay, it's on my budget, I can understand that. And he just said, let's go with non-sound, so, you know, tell me what you need to do. Alright? This right here is an old Athearn DC plug, is where you come with those 8-9 pin plug boards on the Athearn Ready to Roll models and the Genesis models. I just have this plugged in here for because I'm trying to sell it, if I were to try to sell it actually. And then you just simply take a 9-pin decoder of any brand, because this harness, this JST harness, will fit every decoder. Doesn't matter if it's from Soundtracks, Digitracks, NCE, ESU. Well, ESU doesn't. Well, I think they do. I don't know, but you get the point. So, and then what you do, you just like tuck the unit in. I know there's supposed to be like a black space right here, like a black insert, to where it was designed where you can only bring up 2 headlight wires right in the rear light, and I just had to cut it all down, cut it all out so it fit this decoder because it was too, the dynamic brake would hang over. But yeah, it's as simple as, you know, just plug in the decoder, set on the track. Alright, again, wire in the orange for the positive side of the motor, which is the top. The underside, again, look at my video on how to do the underside, because there's a metal clip that down there that you got to cut down and then put electrical tape on the frame so that way it doesn't short out. Gray, negative, orange, positive. Right pickup, again, on a blue box model like this, doesn't matter which truck, you just got to jump the 2, wire that in, wire either rear or front truck with the red wire. Alright? Okay. That's how to do the 9-pin decoder installation with the wire harness. Now, this model, on the other hand, let me zoom out. This is a ready to roll Jeep 50. This came with the with an Athearn. I know this is basically an Athearn Genesis board from a Genesis locomotive this came out of. You see, it's got both the 8 and 9 pin connectors. Doesn't matter which one. Just you want to have one of these plugs occupied with that certain decoder, whether it be an 8 or 9 pin. You can't have 2 decoders on one, because then it'll mess up your decoders and short out the board. So that's what the engines come up with stock. But this engine is actually it's ready to roll. But surprisingly, when I opened it up to do the decoder install, it had the same format as the blue box and how that's wired. So we'll just grab this. Okay. Alright, we opened it up. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, where's that JST harness? Well, this is the second part of this video, how to do a general board replacement. So let me reveal. This is a Soundtracks model. This is a MC2H 104AT model on Soundtrack. This is a DCC mobile decoder with 4 lighting functions. You got F5 and F6, and then front and rear headlights. Both the board replacement would work on these Athearn models. Same with the GST harness. Doesn't matter. But alright, so for the gentleman now, the principle is a little bit different, because we're used to wiring a harness to where you can just wire up pigtail through here. This is actually a bit different, but this is an easier process in my opinion. So you've got your track pickups on the outer tabs here on both sides for the rear and front of the decoder. Alright, let me set this down somewhere. So you basically take one of these front posts, you wire in the LR and for the rear to the rear post, or well, it doesn't matter. But the general idea is with these board decoders, you got 4 tabs that connect the trucks. Leave 1 tab open, alright? 2 of the tabs go to that truck with the decoder in that position. But now the black, you're asking where does one of the sides of the black go? Well, same with the blue box, it has to be grounded to the frame, which right here Athearn has supplied a small screw port to where that stock board used to be. It was able to ground on the frame, and then you'll be electrically isolated to where you won't have a short, and the decoder will look normal if all 4 tabs are occupied. But like I said, there's only 3 out of the 4 tabs occupied, and leave 1 tab open. Okay? And then you just wire in your headlight with the V plus is your blue line, that's the common lead, and then whatever wire, now front and rear headlight both need the blue common lead between the two, but the white wire is for your front headlight, the rear wire, yellow wire is for your rear headlight. Okay? That's the same thing with the JST harness. So I would personally just use board decoder replacements or the 9-pin, but I like these better because you don't have to struggle around with wiring and they're not getting all clogged. They're not like kind of clogging your motor and whatnot, but for what it's doing, it's an old blue box model. I don't really care for it to be new. Like this was made in like the 90s sometime, but it runs. It runs. So go check out that early video I did. So that probably wrap it up. Again, that was my summary of how to do both the board soundtracks, mobile decoder installation. Of course, this is just an explanation, so hopefully this gave you guys an idea of how to do it. So go on ahead, like, and maybe dislike this video. Your comments and questions below on my feed, and I'll get back to you. Also, be sure to check out Ken Patterson's What's Neat This Week podcast on YouTube. Just type in What's Neat This Week podcast. And we've got a podcast where we've got, I think, up to show 33 by now. So be sure to watch that. And also the What's Neat monthly show over at Motor Road Hobbyist Magazine, Ken Patterson YouTube. Alright, so I guess this will be a wrap on this video. See you guys on the next one.